I noticed that as we're chatting, like you've got a watch on, and that's usually the focus within the Analog Explorer. Is that your dive computer or is that a watch? What do you
Yeah.
rock on your wrist? So
Uh,
I'll put it up on the screen. Let me see it again. What do we got, Shark Researcher? So what do you got?
I use the Twister,
Nice.
a DC Solar Link.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so I got this one at the end of last year. And I've been testing it out, but like I'm honestly, I think I'm gonna swap over to the Garmin. I was diving Uncle Nico, he was like diving with the Garmin the other day. And like
Yeah.
this Twister, like it's pretty like I don't want to say weak,
Mhm.
but it's like pretty weak. Like it constantly gives me warnings. And like
Oh
on top of it,
no.
like it like on the other day, it was just like weak. It constantly said it just gave me like when I went into my app, it was just like everything was red, and I was like, I don't understand what your issue was because I did nothing wrong on this dive, and you were just, and then it kicked me off of diving for like 2 days, which obviously I kept on diving, but like this was just not listening to me. I didn't agree with this thing because
What?
everyone else on the dive, we all did the same thing, and they were all fine. Like there was no issues with anything. I've dived the third dive, it wasn't even deep. Like it was just ridiculous, and I was like,
Weird.
no, I'm not in for this thing.
Weird. Did it throw up like you were in Deco lockout and that's why it was keeping you out? I
Yeah, it was like saying like I can actually check here. I've got the app on here. Hold on. Okay, max depth on the whole dive was 26 meters. Bottom time on this one was 58 minutes. And like it said, okay, so I went into what is this one? Oh, ascent warning. So I was going up fast. I got a deco warning, deco depth warning, and then my M value warning as well.
your dive partner probably. I mean, if they're you guys were probably sitting at the bottom at the same depth.
On that dive, even like they would still at the bottom, like let's say they were 26 meters, and this was Cathedral. Like Cathedral is a beautiful dive because one, it's like built like a cathedral. You got all these sharks like circling inside of it. So obviously, like that's one of my key sides. And
Right.
I was like, okay, screw this. It's the first time I'm diving with this watch. Like, let me just figure it out, right? So I went up and I went to like 20 meters. So 6 meters above them, they're like below me. I like showed to them, okay, I'm just gonna go up a bit. Went there and I was staying there and it kept on giving me warnings. It wanted me to go to 3 meters, and that doesn't make sense. Like
No.
it's 3 minutes at 5 minutes, not 5 minutes at 3 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
so it was just
Maybe.
like, and at 3 minutes, how are you gonna stay buoyant? Like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna stay there? Like, it's just gonna push you to the surface. It was
Yeah.
just like I was like, I don't know, but I think I've dived a few more dives on it. I mean, I logged probably with this one in the last since then, probably like another 100 dives or so, and I haven't had like an issue. But that's one thing that's been in my head, like, mm.
That's a little bit squiffy, man. Yeah.
So currently it's a great watch in terms of like everyday use. It's been great. I've been using it really more for like just being in the office or like if I'm quickly free diving or something like that,
Right.
then it's a great watch. But I'm definitely gonna swap over to something else. Um yeah, that's my next thing.
That's yeah. And that's the one thing. Like especially diving when it comes to our dive computer. Like that's the one thing that we've got to trust. I mean, yes, so there's redundancies and such. Like you can do still depth gauge in a watch in a pinch, but like for you, especially for as a shark researcher, like that's to keep your heart rate and to keep yourself sharp around your clientele. Man, that thing's got to be. Yeah, yeah. I would have the same. I'd be more worried about that than the shark. Like, you know.
100%, exactly. Exactly, you know. And then on top of that, like obviously now I'm like on that dive, I've got students with me and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
well, I need to have them in the back of my mind as
Yep.
well.
Yeah. Especially because yeah, you're the dive leader and stuff. So yeah, you're definitely got your responsibilities and such. So you're thinking about doing Garmin. Funny that you mentioned that. That's actually what I dive. So I rock the Garmin Descent G1 Solar.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
nice.
I got it when it first came out about a year or so ago. And what's nice about it is it has, if you're familiar with the Garmin camp, I came from the Garmin Instinct because, as I said, I hike. And like that's basically the platform that they did is they used the Instinct Solar and put the dive computer into it. I haven't used, but I've seen the full fledged Garmin Descent, the Mark II. I think they just came out with a Mark III with air integration and stuff, which is
It's
really
Mark
cool.
II. That's the one I was looking at, Mark II.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly.
those,
Uncle Nico died, so that, and he's got the air integration now.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. No, that is a cool. That I mean, if I didn't have this, like I would probably eye myself either the Mark II or Mark III with the air integration because that is cool. The Mark III, this is kind of sick, and especially because you're diving with a group of students and stuff. if they're all on like a Garmin system, you might check it out. They actually have they have a transmitter that can text underwater. They're preset communiques, like, what's your error, whatever. I haven't seen it in the wild, and it just came out like a couple weeks, if not maybe a month or so ago. But that was, from like a dive guide or a dive master sitch, like that's kind of a cool feature. And like anyway, so I just want to put that on your radar. And this is not sponsored by Garmin. They don't pay me anything unless they want to reach out to me. Hella, holla. But like, from a research standpoint, that might be a cool feature, especially with what you do.